His name is Chris something?
Peterson.
Chris Peterson. He's done.
Yeah, he's on TV.
Yeah, he's retired.
Kalen DeBoer.
I don't know him.
He's in his second season.
Wow.
I know he's got a good quarterback, Michael Penix, the transfer from Indiana.
Yeah.
And he came from Fresno State.
I agree.
His overall record as a head coach is 91-11.
Whoa, that's not bad. Yeah, Fresno State was really good.
Not many head coaches can boast.
91-11.
That's about 90%.
Wow.
Well, maybe that. It looks like he was the head coach at Sioux Falls.
Oh,
I don't know.
Division II.
Yeah.
Probably.
So it includes that.
I think he won 4 or 5 national titles in Division II.
It waters it down a little bit, but guess what? He's still winning football games.
Yeah, his
That's
record
the
wherever
thing.
he's been.
That's
He was at Fresno State for a year and a half. I guess he was somebody was let go mid-season, and he was 3-3 and then 9-3,
Tell me that name again.
and then 11-2 last year at Washington.
That's pretty good. 11-2.
Kalen DeBoer.
You could have won a lot of money from me on that because I could just sit here all day and not come up with that name as the head coach.
Yeah, Chris Peterson hadn't been there in, 3 or 4 years, I think.
And who is the Oregon guy now? Who is the
Well, because
Cristobal's gone to
Miami,
so Oregon had a new coach in place last year.
That's right.
But I can't recall.
Can't recall his name.
We don't. It seemed like we just don't hear as much.
Well, we're going to hear more because all those teams are coming to the Big Ten or the ACC or the Big 12.
Dan Lanning.
Dan Lanning. Hey, wasn't he? He was with Georgia, wasn't he?
Georgia's defensive coordinator.
Georgia's defensive coordinator. So got great cred.
He's second year at Oregon.
Yeah.
And Oregon's looked pretty good.
Yeah.
The
whole Pac-12 has looked good. They were
13-0.
13-0.
Did I say 13-0? Yeah. And that's because Southern Cal's played twice.
Yeah.
And they have 2 wins. Everybody else is went undefeated.
Isn't it ironic that here in the last year of the Pac-12, I mean, they got like several good teams.
Listen to this. Butch Parker texts me and says, Kevin Wilson and Tulsa, the Golden Hurricane, go to Washington today.
Ooh.
Travel to Washington today. Now, here's the line. If they hold Washington under 40, we'll consider it a success.
Ooh.
So,
Not
a lot
exactly
of respect.
A high bar.
A lot of respect.
Yeah.
Right. For the Washington Huskies.
What a schedule for Wilson. He's also got Oklahoma coming up.
Yeah, they do. Let me ask you this: if Southern Cal, Washington, Oregon, UCLA, that's a long shot. If one of those teams in the past 5 years have won a national title, would the Pac-12 be dissolving?
That's a good rhetorical question.
You know?
Yeah.
If it was Southern Cal, yeah, probably so, because they were still going to leave and go to the Big Ten.
You think they would?
It's all about the TV.
If they had a national title, they'd still go ahead and uproot and.
Well, here's what happened.
It's not like they're going anywhere, but they're.
Their TV contract expired, and they didn't get any good, so that's why everybody's bailing, right, Brett? That's the way I interpreted it.
I don't know.
But you're right. They certainly didn't. Had they had a little more success and won a national title somewhere in these, they might have made for a better deal. May have.
When is the last Pac-12 national championship?
Well, do you have to go all the way back to Pete Carroll's?
Yeah,
Southern Cal beating
Southern Cal
Oklahoma.
juggernaut. Yeah.
And then I think about basketball. When's the last time? When's the last Pac-12 national championship? Because they win a lot of national championships, but they don't win a lot of national championships in the major sports.
No. Well, yeah. The Pac-12 wins a lot of championships in the so-called
not in the
minor sports. And Stanford produces more Olympians than any other university in the country.
Yeah, well. But I just, Arizona, UCLA, who else is in the mix for basketball national titles? I mean, and it's been a while, right, since UCLA or Arizona won one. And
UCLA's got to the Final Four recently, and then also under what was that guy's name? Ben
Howland.
Howland, they got to a couple Final Fours.
I just think though,
Yeah, they've
if
been
there'd
there.
more
Arizona's
success,
been
maybe.
there.
Arizona's been there under
But they hadn't won it since
Never won it.
90. Was it 97?
97.
And UCLA won it in 95, I think.
Yeah, with
I
Jim
wonder if Southern
Harwick.
Cal's going to change their name to Northern Midwest
yeah, right.
since they're going to the Big Ten.
I still can't wrap my head around that one.
Does it really matter? You know, I mean, does it matter what conference you're in or anything? You know, I mean,
No, not with the playoff expanding to 12.
the one thing I really don't understand, it's got to be dollar signs, because the one thing I really don't understand, if you keep your conference like it is and they're expanding to 12, don't that help you by not being in the one of the most powerful conferences?
I know. Exactly.
You know, because you're going to win games, you're going to get into playoffs every
Yeah,
year.
Right.
You know, you go to the Big Ten or the SEC, you may not get in every year.
Well, that's what I'm saying about my Sooners. They're going to the SEC. They could be just a middle-of-the-road logjam team in the SEC. And
That's why it's got to be about the dollar signs more than it is.
More than it is about playoff potential.
But I don't know how much you gain by winning a national championship, but I would think that helps your revenue as well, though. If you get a chance to get in there and win it, that, you know, I mean, you know, just think of all the
what it means.
purchases.
It's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Boosters,
Yeah.
give more. Yes, absolutely.
yeah, just
It says Stanford, UCLA, and Southern Cal.
1, 2, and 3 in national
Yeah,
championships.
and national championships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That does not surprise me.
Stanford is known for producing.
Well, once
Olympians.
you're good at something, you know, so I say, I don't know, but say volleyball, track and field, whatever it may be, the best flock to you. You know, I mean, the best
right.
athletes in the world, they flock to you. They're you know.
So
Right.
the ACC is soon going to have the top, you know, the school with the most national championships.
That's right. And it's not been that long ago that Stanford football was pretty good. David Shaw, and before that, Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh, yeah.
I mean, it's been a couple. I mean, his program went downhill in the last couple of years. Now he's gone,
Yeah.
but
I tell you what, Jason just sends me a message here, and it kind of blows me away. The last time the Pac-12 won the national championship in basketball was Arizona. Want to guess the year?
Yeah, I just said it. 97.
1997.
Ah,
That's
And
how long-
UCLA won it in 95.
That's it.
97.
I know.
And Arizona's been there a couple times.
Yeah.
UCLA's been there several times
Several times.
since then. But
Most recently
97
under
since they won a
Mitch.
basketball title.
What's his name? Who's their current coach?
Mick
Yeah,
Cronin.
Mick Cronin. That's right. Now he's a heck of a coach.
Did he sing
and-
with REO Speedwagon? Or is that Kevin?
He doesn't have the hair to sing in the Speedwagon.
No, he could never be in a hair band.
No, you're right. He left it. He left it behind.
Left it
Um,
far behind.
Jason also says Stanford is the best overall athletic school in the NCAA. They have won the Directors' Cup 26 times in the last 29 years. That's pretty impressive. I don't even know what the Directors' Cup is, but I got an idea. I guess you get points like the Wachovia Cup does, the
Yeah,
Wells Fargo
exactly.
Cup
It's
in
the
high
same
school. It's the
thing,
same
yeah.
thing in the college level. But this awarded to the top collegiate teams. Yes. Yeah, that's impressive. That's an impressive run. Lenny says just it's always about the money.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's what drives the schools. It's what drives the athletic directors. It's what drives the board of directors.
And I
of
don't
each
think it's
school.
what's always best for the student athletes.
So it looks like
No.
Oregon State and Washington State are still left without anywhere to go.
That is right. But there's a headline on here right now that says OSU and Wazoo filing seeks control of Pac-12's future.
Yeah, I wonder what that means. I have to open that story up.
I mean, I don't know how to interpret that, but my first thought was, are they going to try to get people to join?
Come to
And keep the conference together.
come to a reorganized Pac-12 or Pac something. Yeah, that could be it.
But who would it be?
I don't know.
My first thought was Gonzaga, but they don't even play football. So what? I mean, that doesn't get you.
Well, Notre Dame doesn't play football as a member of the ACC, although they're
But they
participant
play
in-
5 teams a year.
Well, that's
And
true.
they
In the
bring money
conference,
to the
yeah.
conference.
That's right.
I don't know
Yeah.
if Gonzaga would bring a lot of money to
Well,
the Pac-12.
It'd be great for basketball, but
Well, I mean, would it if you're starting with Oregon State and Washington State? I don't know.
Yeah.
That,
Two
that's not-
powerhouses.
That's not any better than the conference Gonzaga's
Do they
in.
have basketball?
I want to see St. Mary's, one of my favorite coastal teams in the.
Well, see, that's another one. They
You
You
could
could
join.
build a basketball conference.
Yeah.
in the
yeah,
West.
build a
Yeah.
good basketball
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah. Jay says the Pac-12 was offered a TV deal by ESPN a few years ago, paying each school approximately $30 million per school per year.
Yeah,
They turned down the deal, wanting to get money similar to the SEC, the Big Ten, who will be making over $50 to $60 million
and that didn't happen.
per year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now,
I like,
now guess what it is?
Yep.
I like Utah and Colorado to the Big 12. I
Yeah.
think that's
Well,
good for Big 12 football.
Colorado's
Absolutely.
going back home.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where they were.
Yeah.
They were in the Big
But
Eight.
my
all these
question
years.
is, how long do you think Dion stays at Colorado
I say
before
one
he
year.
gets a bigger job?
I say this year if they win 9-10 games.
Till he gets to criticize every sports writer in the business.
Yeah,
That's what it looks like he's out to do now.
I'm not digging that. I mean, sports writers have a job to do.
Yeah.
I go back and forth on Dion.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like
same way.
Some
I'm
days,
same
some
way.
days I want him to win
I know.
and want to watch everything they do, and then some days I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to hear.
I love
anything
how he
about him.
treats his players.
Yeah,
I mean, the things he says. And did you hear what he said to the player that was injured the other day on the opposing team, the TCU running back, who wanted to come to Colorado, but Dion, for some reason, said no. I read why, but I can't recall. But he told the guy, he said, when the guy was laying there hurt, Dion spoke to him and said, "Get up and be the bully that I know you can be. You know, get back in the game.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, well.
give him words of encouragement to an opposing player, which could have beat him."
Well, one thing
I
I,
do like
like
that.
about him is he's so different than most big-time coaches.
Mhm.
I mean, he doesn't do coach speak. He's entertaining. He's controversial. You got to love that about him. But that his style does rub people wrong in some.
And evidently he can coach.
yeah,
You know,
evidently that proof's in
evidently
the pudding.
He can coach. He can.
Do you think they're going to be a
He can
huge
recruit.
Yeah, Brett, do you think there'll be a huge success this year, or it's kind of like come back down to reality? They're going to win 6-7 games.
I think they'll win more than that.
Yeah.
I think 8 or 9.
Okay. Yeah, well, based on what they did against TCU.
I think they beat Nebraska, but
Yeah.
next week is
Well, they have Southern Cal and Oregon
yeah.
back to back.
Oregon, I think, is next week.
That's tough.
I'm not sure they can beat Oregon.
I don't know if they beat either one of those, and
No,
I know they
neither.
have Utah toward the end of the season.
They're tough, too.
So I don't. Yeah, that,
Let's see where the Utah quarterback may be out again. He's
Yeah,
not ready
I
to
think I've
return.
read that as well.
Cam Rising
Here's the thing.
is falling.
How will a loss affect this team? How will a loss affect the
that's
because
right.
right now they're riding high. You know,
Yeah.
I mean they're on cloud 9 and they should be.
Mhm.
You know, but how will a loss affect them? Because chances of them going 11 or 12-0.
Well, particularly
Or
against
slim.
apparently
anybody,
a
they're
very
slim.
good Pac-12 conference this year. I mean,
yeah.
look
They
at all
play.
those teams.
They play Colorado State next week, and then Oregon and Southern
Hey,
Cal.
Colorado State's no pushover. That's a
Mm-hmm.
rivalry game.
No, but I don't think they've been good.
No, not
in several
a while.
years.
Not in a while.
Jason says he thinks Dion will stay in Colorado for at least one more year
Okay.
because Travis Hunter has at least one more year of eligibility along with his son Shadur.
Okay, yeah, I buy that.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he'll want to coach his son.
well, I mean, in today's world, I agree he'll probably be there. But why can't he just take his son with him if he gets another job? I mean,
I
Nobody's
was
tied
thinking
down
more
to
about
anything.
the NFL.
yeah.
Well, he's got to pay his dues a little longer, I think, before the NFL comes knocking.
Ned says he's heard Dion brag on his entire coaching staff as well. He don't know who they are, but he loves them. And he does. I mean, yeah, he's evidently you can't win alone as a head coach. So evidently
yeah,
he
you
is.
gotta have a good staff.
He has hired himself a good staff.
I read where I saw
as
where
well.
Steve Spurrier was singing his praises.
All right.
The old ball coach.
Yeah.
Saw a couple
I just
quotes.
like how passionate he is. And,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he
you
was,
gotta like what
and
he's
he was
doing.
that way as a player too.
Oh, yeah. And you know, despite his flamboyance, they say that he was the last guy to leave the field when he played. I mean, he was all in.
Hard
I mean,
worker.
Hard worker.
Mhm.
Which you would think he's, the Neon Dion part of it is not necessarily all there is to him.
He wasn't a diva.
Right.
No, he really wasn't, and that's kind of hard to believe. But he really wasn't. I mean, who's the first name come to my mind whenever you said the word diva? Who do you think?
Some name any
Terrell
wide
Owens.
receiver.
That's it.
Yeah.
T.O.
T.O.
First one came to my mind, and
Oh,
he
boy.
was not like that. And now T.O. could play, but he loved him some him.
Oh boy. He also loved his quarterback. Remember that? Remember that?
Whoever it
press
was
conference?
at the time.
Love my quarterback.
The flavor of the
breaking
month.
down.
Oh man, that's
I mean,
yeah, that's the first one comes to my mind, and there have been several, that you could talk
Chad
about.
Johnson. I mean, just run down the list.
Now this is a good
Wide
question.
receiver
Ned
divas.
says, how many times can his son transfer? If you're Tez Walker, the rules are hard as concrete. We talked about that last night,
Well,
Mike.
that's
That
true.
Tez Walker's still not getting to play for UNC, and
Right.
I want to know what the NCAA's reasoning is. I mean, if they're not letting him play, he's done everything he's supposed to do.
I hadn't
Just the reason.
I
Tell
hadn't
me.
heard any details. on that.
Everybody's criticized the NCAA.
There's something though. There's something though that we don't know about. It has to be something we don't know about, and what that reason is. Why can't they release that reason? Why won't
But
they?
are you saying the NCAA acts with reason and rationality?
Well,
all the time?
not really.
Where did he come from?
He was
Temple?
he was at one of the small schools
One of
in
the
North
small-
Carolina to begin with.
Yeah. Then he went up
And then-
northeast somewhere. I'm trying to remember. But
I didn't even know the name till a week or two ago when I heard that he could not play.
Well, there's
against
probably a
South
lot of
Carolina.
wide receivers on that team. I told Mike that are happy he's not getting to play because it
Yeah.
probably takes some of their playing time. Because
Well, there's one from Kings Mountain that's pretty good.
Paysar's still having a
Yeah.
good year. He's having well, they only played the game, but he's looking
Yeah.
pretty good so
Chris
far.
Culliver from Maiden's there. Right?
Yeah. But
Don Rebel says
but-
Kent State.
Yeah,
is
Kent
where-
State,
Kent
right.
State,
But
that's
this
Walker
guy,
came from.
he would probably be their best receiver. I mean, I think he would be their number one receiver if he was allowed to play. Let's see. Lenny says Cal and Stanford. I think I've got Lenny. This is yes. Cal and Stanford have more NCAA championships in the last 10 years than the entire ACC combined.
Yeah, Don says he started at North Carolina Central, then Kent
NC
State,
Central.
and now back at UNC.
And say all you want to about Cal. Now, they haven't had much of a football history. They have produced some pretty good quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers being one of them, and the current quarterback of the Detroit Lions, who was the number one pick.
How about them Lions?
Yeah,
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Getting the win a couple nights ago. Jason says Dion in the press is primetime. Dion in full effect. Behind the scenes on their YouTube channel, Dion is an old school football coach. He talks about the influence of he's had from Bobby Bowden and Mickey Andrews from his time at Florida State. His staff's made up of veterans in college football. Man, sorry for the delays here. I'm getting new stuff popping up every second here. His OC is a former head coach at Kent State. As DC and DL coach were on Saban's staff at Alabama. I love the commercial where Saban says an elephant would have been scarier.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that one? Than a buffalo. It's him and Dion together.
Right.
Hey,
An
Saban
elephant
tells him
would
an
have
elephant would have been scarier.
I think a buffalo marauding stampeding's pretty scary.
I don't. Yeah, you're not gonna get much more scary than that. Let's see. He has another former head coach on his who was at Mississippi Valley State, and he has several former NFL coaches on his staff. So yeah, the man has built himself a good staff. That's for sure. Lenny says that the receiver came, just like we said a minute ago, Kent State, North Carolina Central. Don't know what exactly, though, is behind that. Ned says from West Charlotte to NC Central and then Kent State. Didn't realize he was out of West Charlotte.
I knew.
Also, Walker's has grades. He is on the dean's list. So I'm glad he added on the dean's list, because when he said he had grades, I didn't know. Everybody's got grades.
Yeah.
It just depends on.
He's got good ones.
Yeah, it depends on where they rank.
So what's his future then? Ruled ineligible.
I don't know. Yeah, Jason sent me some stuff here about him too. I'm not going to repeat what I said, but he said he transferred to Kent State, played 2 years there. He never played at NC Central, and I've heard him say that.
Wasn't that
over
during
and over.
COVID?
I think it was during COVID. Transferred to UNC January 9th, back in North Carolina. His grandmother's sick and has never seen him play college football. She also raised him. On January 11th, NCAA changed the rules for two-time transfers. UNC is arguing he only played football at one school prior to coming to North Carolina.
Okay, that simplifies it.
Right. NC Central and Kent State agree that Tez should be considered a one-time transfer.
Well, I mean, realistically, I agree.
So what is the NCAA saying? You have to sit out this year, and then you're eligible?
Or is he finished?
Right. That's why. That's my next question.
I think that's what
because
it
I haven't
really
heard what they're gonna allow. I mean, if he sits out a year, can he play next year? But here's my thoughts. If I'm not playing in the next 3 weeks, I don't want to play because I've wasted, close to half a season. And
so is there any appeals process? I'm sure they will if there is such a thing.
Yep, Lenny says the same thing. He never played a game at NC Central because of COVID. Never played a game there. So why should that count? I don't know why that counts and why it don't. I mean, that's
so the NCAA's come out with this
grade.
Because they're trying to keep players from multi-entries into the transfer portal, right? I assume.
I thought it was wide open.
I did too.
I didn't know
you could just do whatever you wanted.
I did. And it will eventually be that way.
Yeah.
Monty says he thinks Walker's out of West Mac and not West Charlotte. I felt NCAA still upset over getting out lawyered a few years back on the bogus classes.
Who said that?
It took some good lawyers to win that one. I can promise you that. Monty.
Yeah, could be. Well, they did. Yeah.
Yep.
UNC did lawyer up on that one.
Jason says the NCAA is saying if you transfer twice as an undergraduate, you have to sit out 1 year. You can transfer twice if one of the transfers is as a graduate transfer. Okay, so here's my thought on that. Maybe it has nothing to do with how much football you played.
Yeah,
it has
just the transfer itself.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying maybe that's what they're the ruling that they're going on is how much you played.
Well, it's trying to gain some kind of control over it, but it's a tough call without question.
Well, I don't know if it is or not because I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
I mean.
But I would think since he didn't play at all at NC Central and COVID, I mean, there were all kind of breaks given for COVID weren't there?
There were extra
extended
years.
Eligibility, extra years.
Yeah, extra years
I don't
and
get
things
it.
like that. Lenny says he has to follow the old rules and sit out a year. He is eligible next year, so that's what it would be.
Okay, he's eligible next year. They'll
Yeah,
still need a good receiver next year.
A year's a long time when you're
true.
20. I don't know how old he is, but a year's a long time when you're 20. Not as much for us, Mike. It goes by pretty quick.
Yeah.
But if you're waiting to play football,
I would guess this
I'm
guy's
still
22
reeling into years.
I mean,
yeah, I guess he could be.
I would think
So you're saying
he'd
that
be ready for
that year's shorter for him?
He
because
could
he's
go.
20?
He could go into the draft.
He's 22.
No, he didn't have to. Yeah, he's what is he? 21, 20? I mean, I think 3 years.
I mean, he's
right?
got
3 years out of high school.
Would you go into the draft, though?
I think you need a year. Maybe he needs 1 year to show what he can do, or maybe not.
I don't know if you watched any last night when you got home, Mike Powell, or wherever your travels took you last night, but Illinois defeated or fell, I should say, to Kansas last night.
Well,
Kansas a winner 34-23.
Well, I gave you the halftime score at our broadcast, 28-7. Rock, chalk, Jayhawk.
Illinois made a run, but they just couldn't get over the hump. They made a run and had the ball again with a chance to get it down to a field goal.
And what was the final score again?
34-23.
Yeah, okay. They did close the gap, the Illini.
Two programs there with not I'm not going to say they don't have storied history in football, but not recently. Not recently.
You got to go back to Gale Sayers and Dick Butkus.
I think who is the less relevant in football? Kansas or Illinois?
They both can make a case.
I'm going to say Illinois
I will
now.
too, because Kansas is on the rise.
Yeah.
They got a good coach.
Yep. I think they had a better year last year. I don't know that. That's just in my head that they had a better year last year than Illinois. And Illinois has just been stagnant for.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The state of Illinois is maybe the worst for football that's had it forever because the Bears can't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
So the state of Illinois really struggles in the football department.
They really do, and
not to say they don't struggle in other athletics as well, but especially in that football department where you would think, I'll just put it this way: the Chicago Bear fans deserve better. The Chicago Bear fans deserve better. There's no doubt about that.
And I don't know whether they don't play good high school football in Chicago. I know they play great basketball in Chicago because we've had a lot of great players come out of the Chicago area.
Yet nobody in that area is any good in college basketball.
Well, yeah.
DePaul used to be years ago.
Sure.
But, boy, that changed. Also, Mike, last night you and I were laughing because Indiana was playing Institute.
INST.
Finally, I came up with it. I said, maybe it's Indiana State.
And it was, right?
And it was Indiana State. But it looked like they were just playing an Institute.
I know it.
And didn't to be named later.
Yeah.
But 41-7, Indiana gets that win last night. And on Thursday night, I'm sure you were tuned into this one.
Mm-hmm.
Louisville hammered Murray State
on
Thursday night, 56-0 in that contest. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will run down today's college football. Not a great day, but any day of college football is a good day. Back in a moment.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Dr. John Cloninger III is celebrating 25 years of practice here in Lincolnton. Dr. Cloninger's pedigree originates from his father, mother, and uncle and continues with his brother and cousin. The name is an icon in the field of dentistry. Dr. Cloninger has dedicated himself to his patients and community and continues to lead by example. He has heard his whole life, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He wants to sustain the family name and proceed by offering the best reasonable treatment possible. Dr. John Cloninger III, 904 Doncha Drive in Lincolnton. Call 704-735-0765.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
That's the sound of my soul reactivating when I finally get my frappe from McDonald's. Specifically, the McCafe Oreo Frappe. It's back in all its frosty Oreo goodness with rich mocha, plus the crunch of Oreo cookies with whipped topping and more Oreo cookie crumbles. Or get another favorite drink, like new refreshing lemonade or a Southern-style sweet tea lemonade. There are drinks, then there are drinks from McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. At participating McDonald's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group, used under license.
Century Drug in Boger City is the first pharmacy in the area to offer peace of mind for you, your caregivers, and for your family with a convenient poly pouch, strip pouch system, just like the one you've seen on TV. No more sorting through and keeping up with your multiple bottles of medication. No more filling daily reminder boxes. No more calling in meds and worrying about refills. You'll receive all your medications once a month in a box that dispenses a convenient, easy-to-open strip pouch that is perfectly labeled for breakfast, lunch, bedtime, etc. Century will be the link between you and your doctor to assure you that your medication profile is up to date and refillable. In other words, Century Drug will do all the work. You just take your medications and be healthy and happy. Call or come by for a visit today. 704-735-2551. Century Drug, East Main Street in Lincolnton.
Tim Johnson here from WLON. Folks, if you are looking to buy a new metal building, let me tell you the place to go. Unrivaled Metal Buildings in Lincolnton. With over 20 years' experience, they specialize in metal carports, garages, RV covers, storage sheds, and more. They service over 40 states. They offer bank financing and a credit-free rent-to-own program. All of their units are engineer certified to meet local wind and snow requirements. Commercial sizes are available as well. Address is 2541 East Main Street, Lincolnton, or call 844-848-8676. Also, check their website out at unrivalledmetalbuildings.com.
Well, when I left my computer for a short break, I had college football scores up. When I came back, AccuWeather was on my screen. I don't know if it was trying to tell me something or not.
Yeah, that's a omen of things to come, apparently.
The Battle of the Black and the Vegas Gold today. Who would that be?
Vegas Gold.
Black and Vegas Gold. From 2 power conferences. Come on.
Wake Forest.
Yes.
Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Okay.
Vanderbilt at Wake Forest. Guess what game time? We couldn't make it if we left right now, probably.
10 a.m.
11.
11.
I guess we could. We could be in Winston by.
I was going to say, if it's in Nashville, we definitely could.
No, we sure couldn't. But Wake Forest hosting Vanderbilt, 11 a.m. on the ACC network. You're talking about games being moved for television. That one is, I'm guessing that the ACC network must have a bigger game around 2 o'clock.
No, I was going to say, who's going to watch
to
that?
me, that just runs. I mean, I don't like
They
it.
do have a huge game at 2:15 on the ACC network. Want to guess it? Clemson hosting Charleston Southern.
Unbelievable.
It's all about television.
Yep.
Ball State visits Georgia today. The spread, it looks like it's 3 digits. In that one. David Letterman U heading into the doghouse. What's the Between the Hedges is what their nickname, right? Down in Georgia.
Yeah. Ball State's going to end up beneath the hedges.
It is paycheck weekend if it's ever been one. Because Ball State at Georgia, Youngstown State at Ohio State. That's not as lopsided as you would think, probably. But Delaware at Penn State.
Oh, boy. The Blue Hens.
Brett's game of the week. Notre Dame visits NC State. High noon today in Raleigh.
What do you think? Could be interesting.
Yeah, I don't really know how good NC State is. I know they have a veteran quarterback who came from Virginia.
Notre Dame's looked pretty good in there.
Yeah, they played
2 outings.
2 weak opponents.
2 weak opponents, yeah. We'll see.
And NC
State,
but
you did what you're supposed to do with weak opponents.
That's right.
You hammered them.
NC State beat UConn.
Yeah, UConn. Yeah, that's not been a bad program. Yeah,
I know NC State will give everything they have.
Sure.
Today.
Sure. Mm-hmm. They'll give their all for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Or
I
to
hope
Notre
for
Dame.
Notre Dame. Well, Notre Dame has struggled against NC State, and
Hey guys, how about this?
In the
one?
past.
Utah at Baylor, tickets as low as $4. I mean, not highly valued, are they? In Waco, Texas.
I don't know where they come up with these numbers on this, but yeah, you can see
$4.
that $4. That's
100
hey,
degrees.
worth the flight out there, right? Let's pay 500 round trip to go see. Get us a football ticket for $4.
That's probably
100 degrees.
And adult
in-
beverages are
in Waco
$14.
today. It's 100 degrees.
Oh yeah.
And I heard last week when Baylor lost
Waco?
to Texas State, the heat index was 130 something.
Yeah, boy.
I think
Pretty hot down in
I'll
Waco.
give them $4 to not go
Yeah.
and sit in that kind of weather and watch football.
Of
Utah.
course, you got Utah ranked number 12.
Yep.
And Baylor.
And
lost
Baylor,
its
who beat
first-
them last week?
Texas State.
Texas
That's
State.
unbelievable.
Yeah. No, it's not. Not anymore. I mean, it's just not. That kind of thing's going to happen. I mean, Baylor's not.
Well,
Where would they rank in the college football landscape? Top 75 or not? I mean, to me, there's enough athletes out there now. You're going to see things like this happen.
They
more
kind
and
of
more.
come and go,
Yep.
depending on who's coaching them.
And if you're not
or
ready,
didn't Baylor win the Big 12 just 2 years ago?
Couldn't
They were
tell
in
you.
the championship game.
Probably.
yeah. And those players are the
Dave
good ones are in the
Aranda.
NFL,
Yeah.
I guess now. And
Texas State, quarterbacked by former LSU and Auburn Tiger, TJ Finley.
wow,
Well, he's well traveled.
yeah. But to be recruited by those schools and
Yeah.
be that kind of athlete that now is at Texas State. What's Texas State's nickname?
Yeah.
Bobcats.
Is it?
Bobcats.
Yeah.
That's one I would not have gotten.
Nope.
One I would not have gotten. So Utah at Baylor, Troy at Kansas State, Nebraska at Colorado. A lot of eyes going to be on that.
Yeah.
That's at high noon on Fox.
National-
Colorado's getting some
Oh.
national coverage,
Yeah.
and well deserved. I mean, well deserved. I mean, what did they win last year? One game.
Yep.
One game.
Already matched it
Folsom Field,
this year.
Boulder, Colorado.
I can only think of Folsom Prison.
That's what
when
I
hear-
think of.
when I hear that name. Nebraska, they lost a tight one last week, right? Who
Yeah,
was it?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah, they were picked. I mean, they were a big underdog in that game, but they had a chance to win. Nebraska actually had a chance to win that game.
Well, Matt Rule has shown that he can turn around a college program. He just can't turn around. He couldn't turn around an NFL program.
I don't know how far he can turn Nebraska. I mean, they may be
Yeah.
too far to, but I do think they'll be better.
They will
under
be
him.
better
I
under
think they'll
him.
be better under him. And I'm not saying they can't win that game today. I don't know the lines. You don't have the lines.
Yeah,
pulled
that
up.
one's 2.5.
Just
Okay.
2.5.
Two and a half. So.
Yep.
Well, I hear Nebraska does have pretty good D, so maybe they'll win the game.
Yeah, they what was the score of that game?
13-10.
Yeah,
It was
13-10.
very low
I mean,
scoring.
that's, yeah.
But Matt Rule's an offensive guy.
I'm glad you didn't say genius.
No, don't say that.
Panthers would tell you different.
Only, Nebraska was just awful last week offensively.
Challenged, right?
Well, okay.
Are they more awful than Iowa? Nobody's more awful, hardly.
I don't know.
This year, maybe. I don't.
Here's the question, though. Yeah, I mean, not even a question. You got to give Matt Rule time.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
He's got to get some of his recruits in there, get his guys in place, and then see how he does with his
Yeah.
offense.
well,
And that's a 3-year plan to me.
I think he'll make them competitive.
Yeah, I think he will. He's a lot like Chip Kelly
Right.
when he
He needs
suited the
his
college game.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're giving us another TO thing. I love my
Love my
quarterback.
quarterback.
Well, Matt Rule doesn't love his right now.
He
Had
probably
114 yards and 3
He
interceptions
probably
last
doesn't
week.
love him.
You may be right about that. He may not be throwing too much love there. I'm gonna hit on some of the bigger ones here: Purdue and Virginia Tech. I don't know why that seems to be a bigger one. Purdue, I think, lost last week to somebody I just thought they should have beaten.
Yeah, Fresno State.
Fresno, but Fresno's not a bad program.
Oh, no,
you,
they're
you
not.
know that's not the end of the world.
And
to
don't
lose to
forget,
Fresno.
they lost Jeff Fromm. He's now at Louisville and just won his second game.
In the last 20 years, Fresno has probably produced more NFL quarterbacks than Purdue.
Yeah.
right?
Wouldn't
All I
doubt
can
it.
name's Drew Brees, and we know we got the brothers,
The 2 cars.
the cars, yeah, a couple cars
Yep.
out of Fresno, maybe more. I don't
Yeah.
know. James Madison at Virginia, Holy Cross at Boston College, Georgia Tech at home to take on South Carolina State. Let's see, Charleston Southern at Clemson. We mentioned that one, 2:15 today on the ACC network. What were your thoughts on Clemson and their performance against Duke?
Well, I think everything that could go wrong did go wrong for them. But again,
They kind of moved up and down the field,
Yeah.
but then they couldn't get it in the end zone.
yep. Well, 2 fumbles in the red zone, or
Yeah, inside the 5. weren't
Inside
they?
the 5.
And I don't know where Duke's quarterback's from, but he's a player.
he is.
He's an
Riley
athlete.
Leonard.
Yeah, he is. He can make things happen, and got some wheels
I know.
Yeah, he is. He's good.
as well. They can win some games. Now, are they going to compete for ACC title? I would not think
Well,
so.
their
But
schedule's
they-
so
but
much
they can-
tougher
they-
this
is
year.
it?
I mean, they got some breaks last year to go 9-4, but they got to play Notre Dame, Florida State, North Carolina. I mean, all the.
That's 3 wins. Who's going to beat them?
I love your thinking.
Negative. Man. BYU's at home to take on Southern Utah. That's one place I'd love to go watch a game one time is BYU. I'll probably never get there, but it
Lavelle
would be
Edwards Stadium in
a beautiful,
Provo.
beautiful setting in the Rocky Mountains. Michigan's at home to take on UNLV. Tulane host Ole Miss. Both teams are ranked in the top 25. Texas A&M visits Miami. Wow.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah, it could, because
Yeah.
we really don't know about Miami, and they thumped somebody last week. I mean, they were supposed to thump them, and they did. The last few years we've
Yeah,
seen Miami.
Miami of Ohio. So they beat.
Last few years we've seen
Is
them
it-
supposed to thump somebody, and they didn't.
I got a question for you. Is it Mario Cristobal or
I think it's
Cristobal?
Cristobal,
Okay.
but
Wanna
he's
make
not
sure.
a crystal ball. I promise you, he would have never went to Miami.
Well, that's right.
I don't think. But was that my question? I thought you were going to ask something else
No,
about
that
him.
was my question.
Yeah, I think it's Cristobal, but you
Okay.
know it's.
Yeah, it makes sense.
There's a
Cristobal.
lot of names. There's still people out there that call Jim Mora Jr.
Yeah.
And he's not a junior. He has a different middle name. I don't know why they did that to him.
Well, here's
but
the
they
thing
did
that's
it.
interesting about this game. You know, Texas A&M brought in Bobby Petrino to be their offensive guru. See how that goes.
He is a guru.
He is that.
Jason says, will the state of South Carolina get a win this week in college football? The programs that play FBS and FCS went winless in week 1, the state of South Carolina. Now, wait a
Not a
minute,
good
Don
start.
Rebels. I said last 20 years.
Well, they're going to, because Clemson plays Charleston Southern. So
Yeah.
one of them's going to win.
Yes, they are. Somebody's got to win. I'm going to take Clemson now, especially after what happened on Monday night. Don Revels says Bob Greasy was pretty good. Well, yes, but I said the last 20 years. Bob Greasy was a little
good.
further back than 20 years, but Bob Greasy was a great quarterback.
And Brian
out
went
of
to
Purdue.
Michigan, right?
Brian
Yeah,
went
Brian
to
went to
Michigan.
Michigan.
But he wasn't in the last 20 years anyway. So.
No.
And that's that's hard for me to believe now, because it seems like he should be within the last 20 years. That's how fast the 20 years have gone by. I may watch some of Texas A&M and Miami. That interests me a little bit. How much A&M's not top 10; they're top 25. That's all. It's a game. I don't know. It seems like a game Miami could win.
Was Lynn Dawson also Purdue?
He might have been.
I think so.
Yeah, he might have been. No, he was Marlboro. He liked to sit on a bucket on the sideline and burn one.
The classic photo.
No apologies necessary.
Lynn
Don.
Dawson
Just
and
picking.
Hank Stram.
They were
Both
smoking.
went to Purdue.
Oh, I thought you were both smoking on the sideline.
That's what I thought.
Because they have. Oh, Hank was great. Hank Stram was great. Rest in peace, Hank Stram. He'd love to see what the Chiefs are doing today, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Well, except for the other night, but he would love to see the turnaround of the
He won one Super
Chiefs.
Bowl.
Have always been a respectable franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they've always been in the mix, but nothing like since Andy Reid got there
Yeah.
to win a pair of Super Bowls and contend just about every year. Don't know how we got to that, but I enjoy whenever we get off the path.
Here's a offensive-minded game. Iowa at Iowa State.
I don't know about that, but how much money have they got on it?
Yeah, gambling scandal.
Yeah, and that's the two schools that were at the forefront, right?
Yeah.
About 2 months ago.
How about the over-under in that one?
4.
Yeah, 36.5. It's probably the lowest on the list.
So that's
last year it was 10-7.
What was the final score the other night? Because I saw the over/under on the Lions and the Chiefs, and instantly in my head I said I'd take the under in that first game for both teams. I don't think and nobody
wasn't
lit
high
it up.
scoring, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think the what was the final score?
It was 41 points.
Oh yeah, that was under. I think it was like 57.
51.5.
Yeah. I could actually won some money, but if I would have bet money, it would have been 94-93 or something like that. If I would have put money on it. That's just the way it works, right? Jason says Clemson will struggle as a program if Dabo doesn't embrace recruiting the transfer portal.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying.
Yeah,
We're seeing the demise of their dynasty. He won't embrace the portal.
The best coaches adapt
or die.
All those years of pay to play is now evened out for everybody else can do it too.
Yeah. You better at least, what's the word I'm looking for? Enhance your team through the portal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fill some spots. I mean, you don't have to go all in like Dion did.
I don't know. There's different ways to look at it, but Mark Blackie says it's pronounced Christo-Ball. I've never heard the dash in there. I'm just kidding, Mark. But Christo-Ball. So he, if he looks into his Christo-Ball, what kind of season do you see them having? Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
7-5.
South Florida. 7-5.
I don't know.
While we're going through here, look at their
that's
schedule.
Not get it done.
It's Miami.
7-5.
See if you get their schedule pulled up, Brett. While we're going through the rest of these, yes, you've got to adapt, be able to adapt with the changes, whatever those changes may be, or get out.
Yep.
And I'm not just picking on Dabo. I'm not talking about him at all. I'm just saying, college coaches everywhere, if you can't adapt to what's going on, nobody's more stubborn than Nick Saban.
That's true.
But he's going to go after whatever he's allowed. You know what I mean? I mean, he's going to do whatever's best for his football team, I would think.
Here's Miami's schedule.
Yeah.
They beat Miami of Ohio. They got Texas A&M today.
I'm going to say a loss. Go ahead.
Bethune-Cookman.
2-1.
Temple.
3-1. And that's questionable.
Georgia Tech.
4-1.
Okay. I'll give Mike that.
At North Carolina.
4-2. I don't think they'll win at Chapel Hill. If it was at Miami, man.
Clemson at home.
4-3.
Yep.
Virginia at home.
5-3.
Better win that one.
At NC State. That's a toss-up.
It is. I'll go win 6-3.
At Florida State.
6-4.
Yep.
Louisville at home.
I'm not sure anybody's beating Florida State.
I think that's another toss-up. Louisville.
Well, then if it's two toss-ups, let's go 6-5.
And then at Boston
one
College.
Each way.
7-5.
7-5. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Brett said 7-5. He must have already looked. He's right on it.
Which I don't know by.
So will it be a successful season if they go 8-4?
And knowing Miami, they'll beat North Carolina or
beat
Florida
somebody
State
they shouldn't and lose
or
to somebody they shouldn't.
But they'll lose to Virginia or Boston College.
I think 8-4 would be considered a step in the right direction, at least.
And it used to be that Miami would run through that schedule and cover the spread on every team that stood in their way.
Well,
there will be one challenge. That would be Florida State.
We're never getting back to the old Miami. I just don't think that's happening.
Gene Schrantz agrees with our thoughts. Got to use the rules to your advantage. Put the best team out there each year. That's what Sanders will do. He will do that. He will do that. He will get the best player. And he's in an advantage right now because he's got players coming to him.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not just going in the portal, but they are players wanting to play for Dion right now, and you can't blame them. I mean, you can't blame them. It's everything's so positive right now. Everything just seems to be so positive. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in those locker rooms before the game and after the game, because he can give some speeches. He can really lay some speeches on you, some heartfelt speeches. Jason says Miami has a buy one get one free ticket special going on today. So not only who was the $4 ticket?
Baylor.
Baylor, Utah. And
So Miami's got buy one get one
Scenic
free.
Waco.
Buy a ticket to today's Texas A&M game. Get a free ticket for Georgia Tech. Are you going to drive down for the deal?
Heck of a deal.
I think I'll have to pass. Number one, I love football, and I would love to see Miami football. But isn't it always hot in Miami?
And a little humid.
I found a game with ticket prices even lower than Utah Baylor.
Now we got a great argument going on now, because Ned says just because I'm feeling stubborn this morning, did some research. Max Preps, Dontrez Walker, West Charlotte, class of 2019. He was number 19. He got me his numbers. He was number 19 in football, number 00 in basketball. Lenny says Duke quarterback Riley Leonard is from Alabama and actually was a basketball star in high school.
Oh.
So is he going to play two sports at Duke?
We could use him on the wing if he can shoot the three.
Also, another comment here before we take a break. Tez Walker, this comes from Lenny Tez Walker's preseason All-ACC and never played a game in the conference. That's
pretty high.
I guess, yeah.
Heady praise.
Yeah, it is. UNC has many good receivers, but what this guy is a sprinter, is sprinter speed to the field for Carolina. This may hurt Drake May and Carolina as the season goes on. If what's the kid at Southern Cal, the quarterback? Help me with his name, Brett.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams. Thank you, Mike. If he's not the Heisman favorite, is Drake May?
I would think so.
I mean,
Well,
I don't
he's
know.
up there, but
Yeah.
I mean, just last week there were so many good quarterback performances that there's a lot of
The
people
last
in
one's
the mix.
his last name may be Sanders.
Yeah,
Hey, he's a candidate.
if he
For
does
sure.
what he did last week,
He had a game. And you know what? I
they're
shouldn't be
saying-
swayed this way, but being who his dad is could play a factor in that voting.
Well, how
You know?
about this Travis Hunter? Both ways.
yeah, he can do everything.
Shades of Charles Woodson of Michigan in the
Interesting, yeah.
90s.
And you got well, I thought the one that left Clemson and went out west, DJU.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he played great last week.
It's
Was
early.
it,
I mean, there,
Oregon
He did.
State?
He did. He played very well for Oregon State.
I can promise you this. It shouldn't be this way, but the Riders are looking for somebody to not have a repeat. I mean, they don't like a repeat
Nope.
Heisman winner. You know, it hadn't happened since Archie Griffin, right?
Nope.
I mean, that's a long time ago. Gene says getting to Miami is easy. Getting home is the issue. Too much fun down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I would agree.
The
Especially
lure of South
well,
Beach.
even better if you go another 140 miles to the Keys. That's
Yeah.
I would. It's not as hot in the Keys either as it is in Miami. It's just since it's surrounded by the ocean waters, it's usually fairly pleasant down in Key West. But
Speaking of Key West, of course, Jimmy Buffett. That's who I think of.
yeah, had a home there.
Yeah.
Had a home in Key West. Had a few homes spread around. Tennessee's at home to take on Austin Peay. That's Lenny's favorite team, Austin Peay. He's told me good stories about them. Washington. We talked about Washington earlier taking on Kevin Wilson's Tulsa Golden Hurricane. That's at 5 o'clock today on the Pac-12 channel.
Is that Tulsa time?
And yes, I do have the Pac-12 channel. Do you? That's the question. Do you? Let's see. Wyoming's at home to take on Portland State. Marshall is at East Carolina. Arkansas at home to take on Kent State, a couple teams that we had mentioned earlier. Georgia Southern host UAB. Liberty at home against New Mexico State. That's a pretty good flight. New Mexico State to Liberty, 6 o'clock tonight on ESPN+. Oregon, number 13, takes on Texas Tech. Number 11, Texas, takes on Alabama. Those two games are at 7 tonight, both on national television. Feel kind of bad for Oregon and Texas Tech playing while that Alabama-Texas game. I'm guessing 90% of the college football viewers will probably watch Alabama.
And Texas Tech coming off a loss to Wyoming last week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And weren't they 17-0? Weren't they up like 17-0 in that
I don't
game?
know.
Yeah, they
Seemed
were
like
up.
they were. Had a pretty good lead.
We got-
Mike's favorite, the Missouri Tigers, are at home to take on Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, drink the water.
LSU, boy, they got stung last week in the second half by Florida State. They host Grambling today. My guess is they'll rebound in that one. Couple games here, kind of interesting. Wisconsin at Washington State, 7:30 tonight on ABC. Florida hosts McNeese State. Florida did not look real good offensively in their opener against Utah. Charlotte goes to Maryland. Eastern Michigan at Minnesota. Mississippi State's at home against Arizona. South Carolina hosts Furman. So there you go.
Another one's going to get a win.
Another South Carolina win, unless they go 8 overtimes and decide to stop it in a tie. UCLA visits San Diego State. Anything else here? Here's some ranked teams. Florida State looked good a week ago. They host Southern Miss tonight at 8:30 ACC Network. Oregon State, ranked number 16, host UC Davis tonight at 9 on the Pac-12 channel. Southern Cal hosts Stanford tonight. How much will Southern Cal beat Stanford by?
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, at least.
I thought you were going to say 40 points. It could be that. Could be that.
I don't know if Stanford can score, but Southern Cal will give up some points, but they're going to score a lot.
Take out Texas and Alabama. Which game interests you the most today?
You left out a few. How about Appalachian State at North Carolina?
Appalachian at North Carolina. That's my fault. I went past that, and I meant to go back to it. Yeah, that's I think North Carolina, superior team to App right now.
Yep.
Win by a couple touchdowns, maybe 3.
And will the Duke Blue Devils have a letdown against Lafayette?
Just playing one guy? And he's old.
Yeah.
I don't see Duke having a lot of letdowns with this coach, this current.
No,
now I may be wrong, but I don't see him.
Well, I'm thinking
Duke has to work every week to win.
Yeah.
They don't just go out there and it happen.
Brett would probably like to go to this game coming up later on. I think it's this month. Notre Dame at Duke.
Notre Dame's
Yep,
coming
they're
to
in
Duke.
Raleigh today, and they'll be in Durham later. September 30th.
I should have
That might
scheduled
be
that one for next week.
Can you imagine a
instead.
tough ticket at Wallace Wade?
It will be.
Oh yeah,
Could be.
they're high.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they've played. Alabama's come in there a few times and played too, and the tickets, didn't last 5 minutes.
No.
When the Tide.
That was mainly
rolled into town.
Crimson.
Exactly. Well, and a lot of people just football fans in
You
general.
want to see Alabama
right,
play.
Go see them
right.
play, and this they probably haven't been there in 10 years, but they used to do it quite regular. Let's take a time out. Appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk. Coming back with more football coverage here in a moment.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry is not just a name, it's the way you're treated the minute you walk in. A full-service dental practice with over 20 years experience and lifelong resident of Catawba and Lincoln County. His commitment and caring run deep in the community. Located at the intersection of Highway 150 and Business 16 in Denver, he's convenient to where you are. Open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5, so look no further for your dentist than Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry. Call 704-489-9919 for your appointment or more information. Daryl Hatchett Family Dentistry.
Sooner or later, everyone wants to make their home dreams a reality. I'm sure you've seen the television shows and flipped through magazines and you know what you want. Or then again, maybe you're not sure. You know that you want something different and something better. Get started today by contacting the building professionals at Key Builders in Lincoln. Visit the website at keybuildersnc.com and check out their many floor plans. There's one there for you and your family. Key Builders, locally owned and operated at 1459 North Ashman Street in Lincoln. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too. Lake Electric Company was founded in 1984. They are licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Safety and quality is first in everything they do. For all your electrical needs, serving Lincoln County, Catawba County, Burke County, Mecklenburg County, and all the surrounding counties. When it has to be done right, call Lake Electric. Let them take care of your family. Lake Electric Company, 4362 Providence Mill Road, Maiden. Call 704-483-4000. Online at lakeelectric.com.
Hi, folks. This is Will Poteet, president and co-owner of RE/MAX Crossroads. The real estate market is ever changing, but it's not too late to sell your home for a great price. If you're thinking about selling your home, give us a call at 704-736-1717 to speak with one of our expert agents. We would love the opportunity to earn your business.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. The electrical panel is the heart of your home's electrical system. Malfunctions can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk or in the dark altogether. Fixing it quickly will help keep you and your family safe. So trust our team of electrical experts at Mr. Sparky to get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888. Sparky.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. Glad to have you with us. Saturday morning, rain expected sometime today. Already had a little bit this morning. Lenny says if Jimbo doesn't turn it around at Texas A&M, you might see Mike Elko headed back to Texas A&M. What's your thoughts on that, Mike Powell?
Well, maybe if I put on my headset, I could respond. Yeah, Jimbo Fisher.
You can talk without a headset.
With all the money he got, I think it's a pivotal year. I mean, they don't mind buying him out of his remaining contract or whatever. I mean, could be if Elko goes 11-2 at Duke or something like that.
I don't even think he has to do.
It's forever changing.
It's forever changing.
I mean,
That's
college
all
football coaches are forever moving around, and if Jimbo would happen to lose this job, where would he land? I mean, somebody would snatch him up.
Sure.
In a heartbeat.
Mike Elko was Notre Dame's defensive coordinator, and he left for Texas A&M, same position but for a lot more money.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then from that, he got the Duke head coaching job, and I guess maybe the Texas A&M head coaching job is his next step up.
Yeah. Could be. I'm just thinking about
I was really disappointed that Notre Dame wouldn't match his offer that Texas A&M offered him when he left Notre Dame. But Notre Dame's just known for not being able to pay their assistants as much as a lot of the other schools. That's why they lost their offensive coordinator to Alabama this past offseason.
Has A&M ever played an SEC title game?
No, not even under Johnny Football.
I can't remember them, but I mean maybe they have, but I can't remember them being.
They haven't done all that great
in the SEC title game.
It's been middling.
That was the one time they were really relevant. Was
Johnny Football.
If you're being recruited today,
Jimbo.
If you're being recruited today, and you're going to choose one of the two, are you going to A&M or Texas?
No, Texas.
Why? I mean,
I've just always liked Texas and their tradition.
More history.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, starting next year, you'll be able to play in the SEC.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, though, for Texas?
Being
you're
in
going to be in the SEC either way. So
yeah, I'm kind of, being an Oklahoma fan, we just could be middle of the road in the SEC.
Well, to me, the SEC is not what it was 15 years ago.
Yeah, when Florida was really good.
Where you had elite defenses.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't think those defenses.
Who's got an elite defense now?
I don't know if anybody does.
No, that's right. Good point.
Nebraska and Minnesota. 13-10.
Iowa, but they
may not
no
look
offense.
might not look so good when they play other teams though.
Mm-hmm.
But
Iowa might have the best defense. I don't know. I thought
it's all about the
Michigan's
offense
defense
now.
has been pretty good the last couple of years.
Michigan's had good defense really under Harbaugh. I mean, they've been a pretty good defense.
But the days of Alabama and LSU playing those 13-7 games,
9-6 1 year.
Yeah, but Brad, what do you think about Georgia's defense? Was it last year or the year before when they had they've guys go the NFL?
They've had really good defenses,
and that's what Gene says. Gene says Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia's probably got the best defense.
They're still
in
old
the country
school
right
SEC
now.
defense.
I mean, it may not show because of the competition they play, but as far as if
that 1 year that they had all those draft picks, I didn't think their defense was great. I thought it was good, but they did have a lot of star players on it. And Alabama's had some of those where they have star defensive players, but they're not holding teams under, to 10 points a game or anything like that.
Well, eventually the NFL draft first 3 picks be Georgia defensive linemen. I mean, it's. I mean, they're getting taken high every year. Let's see. Ned says, do you think those type of coaches and players would embrace the chance to play against the best competition? Why wouldn't they?
Of course, I think so.
I mean, that might be. I haven't heard any coach say, I'm disappointed we're going.
Well, it's overrated.
To a tougher conference or whatever, I mean.
You get past Georgia and Alabama, and it's overrated.
Yep.
To me.
Well, what was their record?
As far as what? I mean.
How good the conference is.
Oh, how good the conference is, the SEC is. It seems like it's LSU, I mean, I heard a stat the other night that's
Florida State just blew them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know, no, they're not good. They're not as consistent every year. But did you know that LSU's last 3 coaches? Now, if Brian Kelly wants to get in the club, he's got to win the national championship because the last 3 coaches at LSU have won one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Les Miles. Oh, Saban before that.
Saban, Les Miles, and
Ed Orgeron.
Wonder what he's doing now. Eating gumbo.
Yeah.
Other than eating gumbo. I liked Ed Orgeron. I thought he was a flamboyant.
Yeah,
kind of
I
guy.
thought he was colorful.
Yeah.
Is that LSU the 3rd best team in the SEC or Tennessee?
As far as history, or
no, just right now.
Yet to be determined.
I think Tennessee's pretty good.
Tennessee's
but then
good.
After that, I mean, who scares you in that conference?
Well, that's true.
What will Auburn be under new coach?
Yeah,
Hugh Freeze.
I mean,
they could get.
I can see
good.
Auburn stepping up and being a top 10.
Florida
team.
looks awful.
Florida, I don't know what's happened there. I don't know.
Billy Napier.
It's a disaster.
The Mississippi schools never scare anybody. Texas A&M.
No, but
great.
The Mississippi schools, at least Ole Miss is gonna put 50 on you. So you better be ready to score.
The conference is just overrated.
I think you got a claim there.
Yeah, but is there?
They win a lot of national championships. That's because they have one great team every year.
But is there a conference better? It might be overrated.
No, there's not one.
No,
but there's not
one.
No,
the Big Ten's close, and it's going to be better when Southern Cal gets in there.
Oh yeah.
Gene says when other conferences play the SEC, the others look bad. And in head-to-head matchups,
when they play Georgia and Alabama, they do.
Yeah, I would say yeah. And the ACC, like you said, just got a big win over the SEC with Florida State beating LSU on Sunday night. I mean, that was an impressive
and North
win
Carolina
for
beat
Florida
South
State.
Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
As Florida,
and I think that was expected to be an even matchup.
Yeah. And North Carolina's defense dominated. South
they
Carolina
must be
couldn't
much
do anything.
improved.
I just don't think it's that tough of a just having to play an SEC schedule. To me, is not. It's not
like it was.
It's not any tougher than playing a Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State.
Especially when you don't have to play everybody. I mean, if there's going to be seasons you can avoid Alabama and Georgia both.
Yeah.
Because there's so many teams in the conference, and that better be your year. At least right now. I mean, that's the current flavor of the month. It seems like it's Alabama and somebody. Alabama's consistently there. And right now it's Georgia.
And I don't think Georgia's going anywhere anytime soon.
No, they're not. They shouldn't be. What it's going to take, though, is for one of the Florida schools just have to explode. And I don't know if it's going to be Florida State. You know, it don't look like it's going to be Florida anytime soon. I don't know if it's going to be Miami. But one of those, I mean, there's so many good players in Florida that aren't staying there. You know, now they're going to Georgias and Alabamas and places like that and getting out of the state because the programs aren't winning national titles. So somebody's going to have to win it, and then they'll start keeping those Florida kids in state again. And well, you remember, Brett, growing up, when you were growing up, Florida State, Miami, that was your Alabama and Georgia.
Sometimes that could have been 1 against 2.
Right. So. Yeah, I don't know what they do to get back to that point, but and there are, seems like each year, just better players coming out of each state. If I asked you this, I asked Mike Powell this last night. I saw an article. How many? Don't answer it, Mike, because you and I talked about it last night. Gene says somebody has to beat the SEC in the playoffs to dethrone them, and that's the truth. That's the truth.
That's what I said. They have one great team every year.
Yeah, they do have one great team every year, but. How many NFL players are from the state of North Carolina? I saw an article on this just yesterday. I read it.
It surprised me a bit.
How many NFL players are from the state of North? Played high school ball in North Carolina.
Oh, well, you got 32 teams times 53. I was trying to think how many players there are. On that.
You doing the math?
Yeah.
32.
Right at 1,700 players.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you got 50 states. And you don't want to divide it, I can promise you.
No, I would say.
You don't want to divide it equally.
65.
91.
That's about what
that's
I
a
get.
lot.
I guess 60, I think.
Now, the thing that I saw, if you were on injured reserve, it's like Mike said, if you're getting paid, you were counted.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be more than 1,700 players.
It would be, but not many. But there were a few on injured reserve, like Naheem Hines, who got injured before the season started. He was one of those. And then they're also –
well, I count him because he's going to be on – if he's healthy, he's on the active roster.
He's playing, right. But they also counted – I think you're allowed 6 practice squad players. It's either 6 or 8.
Yeah.
And they counted those
close
too.
To 200 more total players.
Yeah. But North Carolina had 91, and that's got to be the highest I would think it's ever been. I mean, North Carolina's really come a long way as far as putting players in the NFL. But to have 91,
did you
that
see
almost
the
makes
whole
up
breakdown?
2 teams.
Like how many?
I did not.
Florida and Texas and California have. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you right now, Georgia's probably climbed over the last few years as well. I would like to.
I bet Ohio's up there too.
See if you can. You might want to see if we can find something like it. Yeah, Ohio's bound to have quite a few. I mean, it's the those rich areas that produce a lot. And Florida might even still be number 1. I don't know, because they're putting them everywhere. They're not just putting them at the 3 major schools. Let's see. Lenny says he's asking this question here. Is former Myers Park wide receiver Muhsin Muhammad Jr. still playing at Texas A&M? I can't answer that question.
Well, let's see. I'm just going to look at their stats from last week.
I cannot answer that question.
Yeah, he caught a touchdown last week.
He caught a touchdown last week?
3 catches, 12 yards, and a touchdown.
3 catches for only 12 yards.
Yeah, well, they blew out New Mexico. Well, they did have one guy that had 8 for 115 and 2 touchdowns. And another guy caught 3 touchdowns. They threw for 6 touchdowns.
In their win over
New Mexico. Yeah, just New Mexico.
Now, is that the one Urlacher went to? He went to New Mexico and not New Mexico State, right?
I don't remember.
I don't either. I'm guessing, and it's 50-50. I do think he went to New Mexico. I may be wrong.
Let's see. I just had that up. Yep, New Mexico.
Okay, and they are the Lobos.
Lobos.
And the other
State's
one is
Aggies.
Yeah.
Aggies.
All right, high school football. We're going to go ahead and get started a little early because we might hit the NFL at the end and give our predictions for playoffs.
Let me pull up Mike's preps.
And Super Bowl. But first, let me do this first for Mike Powell because I don't want him squirming all morning. Okay?
Squirming?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Looking at the world through the sunset in your eyes. Traveling the train through clear Moroccan skies.
Moroccan skies.
Looking at the world through the sunset in your eyes. Traveling the train through the clear Moroccan skies.
I say the artist is Jimmy Buffett.
No, it's not. It's not. And I'm going to give you a hint.
All right.
Major world news from this area this morning, overnight. Major world news. Yep.
Well, you just said Moroccan, so that's not really a hint.
Moroccan.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Because the name of the song, you have to get it. I mean, the name of the song, somebody out there will get that.
That's part of the lyrics, right?
The lyrics. Not all that story I just told you. Nothing about world news overnight. But looking at the world with the sunset in your eyes.
An earthquake in
there was
Morocco,
a big earthquake.
Okay.
Earthquake last night. And it was, you just have to think. You're a music person, Mike Powell. You want the next lines? Ducks and pigs and chickens call, animal carpet wall to wall, American ladies 5 foot tall in blue. Now, there's you some lyrics, buddy.
That's good lyrics.
The band, it's back in the genre that we talk about. It's it's classic. It's
classic rock.
Yeah. And you might not consider their music so much rock as
the Eagles.
You're not going back far enough. Yeah. Both you guys are very familiar with the band members. I'll tell you that right now. Very, very familiar with the band members.
Is it Crosby, Stills, and Nash?
Oh.
It's
bingo.
Marrakesh?
Yeah, Marrakesh Express.
Marrakesh Express.
Big earthquake last night.
Wow.
I
didn't know that. I have one for you.
Throw it out here.
Okay.
Marrakesh. Attaboy, Butch Parker.
Good one. Here's part of the lyrics. My heart is alive, my soul's like a wheel that's turning.
Gary Wright.
Yep.
Bingo! Love is alive.
Love is alive. Dang.
Oh!
Thought I might get him.
Oh!
Darn it.
Oh, Gary Wright. Also Dreamweaver.
Yeah.
His 2 hits.
Of course, just passed at the age of
Ned gets Marrakesh Express.
Marrakesh.
Yeah, not a good scene in Morocco.
Oh, too bad.
Overnight with the
Casablanca.
A lot of deaths. A lot of deaths last night due to that. Unless I dreamed that when I got up, but I swear I think I saw that as I got up this morning. Yeah, Lenny got Gary Wright. Yep. Would you have known that, Brett? Would you have been able to get that lyrics?
No.
He had 2 hits, and of course,
Dreamweaver.
Yeah, I mean, I know the song.
And you gave me the lesser.
Yeah, I gave you the lesser.
The lesser.
Hoping against hope.
Hey, it was.
But I could stump you.
I like it. It was. Honestly, I'm surprised I got it that quick. But yeah.
Well,
I haven't heard that song in a while. But.
Well, my heart is alive. I mean,
my heart is alive.
The lyrics are kind of
Yeah, it sounded like.
Oh, but don't be trying to sugarcoat it now, like you just gave it to me.
I'm giving you your props.
I thought it sounded like something Springsteen would say or write, but
he may have. You never know who wrote it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people give Gary Wright credit for sort of ushering in the use of the synthesizer in rock and pop and rock in the 80s. With all that.
With 2 hits.
Well, yeah, he played
good credit.
He played this synthesizer in his concerts, kind of thing. Listen to Dreamweaver again, you'll see.
That's a good song.
Yeah,
that's a good song. I like both of them actually. East Duplin, defending 2A state champs, beat Croatan last night 56-13. It was Northeastern. How about this offensive battle? Northeastern 52, Rocky Mount 46. A.O. Brown over South Rowan 49-6. Excuse me. Providence Day, the number 1 team in North Carolina and overall in all of high school football. I don't even know who Co-op is, but they weren't much of a challenge. 49-7 last night for Providence Day in that game. Western Alamance and Eastern Guilford, 26-20. Western Alamance comes out on top last night. Two good programs there. Wilmington Hoggard over J.H. Rose, 38-14. Forest Hills over Community School of Davidson, 21-14.
Yeah, that was a good 2A matchup. Two teams are going to be in the 2A playoffs.
Right. Forest Hills undefeated at
I
this
think
point?
so.
I think they are too. How good does this make the Crest Chargers look? Gaffney last night a winner over Mallard Creek, 24-7. Crest has a win over Gaffney already this season. I think maybe 38-34 first week. And
I watched a little bit of that
last
one
night. Gaffney.
Here's a good question for
beats Mallard
Lenny.
Creek.
When's the last time Crest won a state title? Even though we know their great history.
Probably about 10 years.
It's been a while.
Just probably about 10. I don't know exactly, but I would say probably about 10 years.
Okay.
I think they beat Southern Durham the last time they won one.
That's right.
And they played Southern Durham back-to-back years. They won one and lost one. I may be wrong about that. That's just the way.
I do remember that.
The way
I don't
my
know if that
mind
was the last time
well,
they won it or
one of
not.
the reasons we know, we went to one of them, and Crest was winning like by 4 touchdowns at halftime. We left. The time we got home, they had lost.
Yeah.
And then I think the next year they beat Southern Durham, if I'm not mistaken. Reedsville goes down on Friday night. Did you expect to hear those words?
Nope.
They are still without some key players.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, last night they lose to a good Eastern Alamance team, 19-14. Don't let that and that's a 3A team as well.
Yeah.
So Reedsville falls 19-14 last night to Eastern Alamance. Myers Park over Richmond County, 47-14. I still don't understand what is going on.
I got to call Ken Kinley and see what's wrong with
Richmond County. Ardrey Kell over Catawba Ridge, 27-14. Bessemer City over Union Academy, 37-16. Bessemer 2-2 maybe.
Either that or I think that's right, 2-2.
I think they're 2-2.
Yeah.
North Stanley beats West Stanley, 26-16. South Iredale over Piedmont, 33-6. J.M. Robinson, 54. Central Cabarrus, nothing. Somebody asked me a couple weeks ago, what's going on with East Surrey? Well, last night they scored 64. I think they've won 2 straight now. 64-48
Well,
over
that's not
South
as many
Stokes.
as Monroe scored in their game.
Yeah. What, they have 70?
Yep.
Tarboro over Southwest Edgecombe, 35-20. Southern Nash falls to Southern Alamance. Southern Alamance 22-15 in that one.
We know about Northern Nash, don't we?
We do know about Northern Nash, and I think I'm pretty sure I've already seen their score earlier, and they won last night. Havelock beats West Craven 20-13. Lake Norman Charter over Pine Lake Prep 13-8. A defensive battle, a rare defensive battle in football of any level.
That's right.
These days. New Bern over Nightdale 49-0. Washington defeats Kinston 12-7. James Keenan over East Bladen 42-14. Butler, this was a good one last night. Butler, number 11, beats number 5 Weddington 22-15.
I saw a little bit of that on the football Friday.
That tells me Butler can compete for a state championship because I think
Butler
Weddington can.
Butler scored with less than a minute left.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah,
they did.
Hickory over Cox Mill 35-15 sets up next week's conference showdown. 3-0 Hickory taking on 3-0 East Lincoln.
Game of the year in the very first night of the
It could be in that conference. It could be the game of the year in that conference. And East Lincoln's got the 19-game winning streak on the line at Hickory.
Not only that, they won't have a key player.
Elaborate.
Well, ejection.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know?
No.
Okay.
Most time ejections get turned into disqualifications, which turn into play next game.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I don't know the answer. I really don't know the answer to that.
Right.
Yeah, but you're right. If
that would be bad.
Oh, yeah, it would. It would. We'll just say top receiver.
Yeah.
Chambers over Hickory Ridge, 63-14. Hickory Ridge is one of those schools, I think, guys, that had 2 or 3 guys in the NFL. Because I saw all the schools mentioned. And Seattle has 5. That's the one that struck me odd. Seattle has 5 players that are from the state of North Carolina on their roster. Yeah. Mountain Island Charter rolled over South Lake Christian 42-13. Thomasville 33-0. They also had an NFLer. 33-0 over Ben L. Smith. Sorry, Mike. Cape Fear falls to Laney. Laney wins 28-21. They had it close there.
Max Cady, where are you?
Could not grasp the win. Williams over Moorhead 44-7. Salisbury over Person 31-6. Each week, Salisbury's winning, right?
Yeah.
Each week they're winning pretty
good.
handily. So another team that can make some noise in 2A.
They could.
Down the road. Nash Central over Beddingfield 35-18. Mount Pleasant falls to Northwest Cabarrus. We've seen Northwest Cabarrus in a scrimmage 48-0 last night over Mount Pleasant.
I thought that would be a good game.
It was.
Maybe
for
Northwest Cabarrus is pretty doggone good.
Yeah, I thought
their
Mount
defense,
Pleasant was pretty good.
Defense is tough.
They did not allow an East Lincoln score in the scrimmage, so
No.
their defense is going to be there every week. Northern Nash, Mike mentioned them early. They beat Greenville Conley last night 37-12. It was Roseville over Cardinal Gibbons in a battle of two ranked teams, 52-32. I didn't expect that many points. I don't know why, because that's just the way football is today.
That's the way it is.
Robbinsville over Allegheny 35-7. Owen over East Henderson 26-6. Chesney defeats RS Central 41-13. West Cabarrus Falls, Porter Ridge wins 31-7 over West Cabarrus. East Gaston 4-0 now, Mike Powell. Shuts out Ashbrook 27-0.
That's really surprising. What's happened to Ashbrook? They're going up against a 2A school in East Gaston. They usually dominate.
Ashbrook haven't won a game, have they?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think. Well,
East Gaston and
I don't know
South
that
Point
for
are the
sure.
two best teams in Gaston County right now. And I'm
Yeah.
not sure Bessemer City's not. Maybe Hunter Huss. Hunter Huss is pretty good. But
yeah, Ashbrook is 0-3.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
And they got Crest next.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Not the remedy for 0-3, right? Sal Caldwell and Bandy's. This one, I think, surprised people by the margin.
Oh.
Bandy's 45, Sal Caldwell 14 last night. We're getting ready to find out how real Bandy's is. They had a perfect non-conference season, didn't they? 3-0.
Now they
to
take
start
on
the
the
season.
Rebels of West
Play West
Lincoln.
Lincoln this week.
Where is that game? At
Western
Bandy's?
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Because I can't answer that question right off the top of my head. I cannot answer that question. Yeah, and Scott Cloninger weighs in at the right time. I think Bandy's is going to be a contender. Their first game with West Lincoln will tell a lot. Yeah, West Lincoln opens with Bandy's and then Maiden. So
we'll find out a lot about the Rebels,
yeah,
too.
Bandy's
exactly
is
right.
at home against West Lincoln.
Yep. So, yeah, Bandy's at home against West. We'll go. We'll try to go through those conference openers here when we wrap up.
Yeah, we should.
This is a game I got wrong last night, and Mike got it right.
Hey.
Brett, I think, got it right as well. But Watauga and AC Reynolds
I
last
missed it.
night.
I missed
did you?
it, yeah.
Right down to the wire. And Brett says that AC Reynolds went for 2, did not get it. How much time was left when they?
About 3.5 minutes.
But did they ever get the ball
I don't
back?
think so.
Did not
No, they
get the ball
couldn't
back?
stop. They couldn't stop Watauga.
Watauga wins 36-35. That had to be a really fun game to watch.
Well, I said in the paper, I thought it was probably the most interesting game in the Mountain region. Turned out to be.
Yep.
Watauga actually had the ball at about midfield with a minute and a half left and like a 4th and 5, and they went for it to put the game away instead of punting, and they got it.
Is this – maybe I'm wrong, but think about this. Is AC Reynolds only win against Shelby? Are they 1-3?
I think so.
And they beat Shelby. So, I mean, what a schedule. I mean, they lost to West Forsyth 8-7.
And they lost another one.
East Forsyth, wasn't it?
Well, East, whichever.
Yeah.
I think both. I'm saying that was their other game. Yeah.
Okay,
they lost
you're
to
right.
both Forsyth.
A close game to East Forsyth, right? A pretty close game.
Yeah, they've all been close.
The first one was
What a
8-7.
schedule. Does anybody play a schedule harder than that?
That's got to be the toughest in the state.
Well, I think Butler does.
Well, yeah. You may have something there. But as far as west of Charlotte, though,
Shelby's is no slouch.
No, they're not. Not at all. But that is
and they're probably they're a good team, obviously. AC Reynolds.
That's a heck of a schedule. It's only going to help them when they get into
Exactly.
conference play. And former quarterback from AC Reynolds, I saw he's in the NFL as well, and I can't remember which
Rico
team.
Dowdle. Isn't he with the
Dowdle.
Cowboys?
He might be with the Cowboys. A wide receiver with the Cowboys. Rico Dowdle. You got that, Sullivan? I see that get your attention over there. West Oaks defeated North Surrey 56-28. Wilkes Central beats East Wilkes 21-7. This one was a little closer than I thought. South Point 20, High Brighton 7.
Yeah, I thought so too. And I think it was 7-7 at halftime.
Was it really? So High Brighton may be a little better than we have given them credit for. I'm thinking about the schools in that county up there. West Caldwell seems to be down. South Caldwell down. High Brighton's probably going to be the county champs in Caldwell County.
Yeah, High Brighton's – they lost to Hickory and South Point. They beat Huss and West Caldwell.
How bad they lose to Hickory?
35-14.
Wow. So can Hickory down the road play with South Point?
Well,
I would say so.
I think they couldn't last year, but I think maybe they can. I think South Point blew them out pretty bad last year in the playoffs.
Lenny said not only West Lincoln and Maiden to start, but the third game for West Lincoln in conference is Bunker Hill. So,
God,
they find
no. Well, we said there are no breathers this year in the CVAC.
They're not. They're not.
Not really.
It's gonna be a really good race, and I think the Western Foothills is as well. I think it's a little more top heavy. Yeah. But I still think that there's 4 teams there that can really make some noise. And you got West Iredale, who's 3-0.
3-0.
You know,
I mean, whatever you want to say, they're 3-0.
They are 3-0, and that's probably more games than they've won in a season in the past 5 years.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Freedom over Patton, 56-6 last night. Was that Freedom's first win?
Yep. Proud Freedman. Yeah.
How about Avery County beating McDowell, 23-22? Last night.
Yeah.
Pisgah over Hayesville, 32-7. Clinton rolls over Whiteville, 47-14. I've heard a lot of good things about the dark horses that they may be the 2A team to beat in Eastern North Carolina this year. So,
I've seen them number 1 and 2A in the state on some polls.
Murphy beat Smoky Mountain, 49-27. West Iredale, 21. West Wilkes, 7. Winston-Salem Prep over Highland Tech, 41-8. Irwin, West Henderson defeats Irwin, 40-10. I think West Henderson's still undefeated. They went pretty deep last year in the playoffs too.
They did.
Starmount undefeated, right? Under Coach Lloyd, the former Kings Mountain coach, 62-12 last night over North Wilkes. I think Starmount's 4-0. Somebody might want to check that and see. Drone, this is another one we had last night. We have 11 people that picked. This one was 6-5. I don't remember which way it was 6-5.
Very evenly split.
It was, but Drone wins at home, 35-25.
That's 2 weeks in a row I've missed. I picked against Drone, and they won both of them.
Well, you should wise up next week, right?
I have to put them on the chart again next week. See which way you go. I love the logo, so I have to give this score. Bartlett Yancey. They lose, however, to Cummings, 42-14. North Davidson 48, Walkertown 7. Fayetteville 71st over Hoke County 38-0. This had to be a good one with the crowd. Swain County 30, Tuscola 26.
Oh God!
Good
classic mountain matchup.
Yes. Mitchell 20, Andrews 3. Mountain Heritage 28-21 over Hendersonville. Hendersonville winless.
Yeah, they've fallen off this year.
They may be winless still on the season.
We know how good they were last year.
Mm-hmm. Ledford 49-0 over East Davidson. West Davidson falls to Trinity 34-21. Landrum, South Carolina over Polk County 47-21.
Hendersonville's 1-3.
Won one game. North Gaston, Mike. Hammered Cherville last night. You and I both thought this one could be closer. North Gaston 55-7 in this contest last night. Shelby puts 51 points on Olympic, a 4A team that was 2-1 coming in.
2-1.
And last year went 11-1. And Brett said we given Shelby too much history credit, but as it turned out, all 11 people picked Shelby, and all 11 people got it right.
I pulled up Olympics roster from last year. They had 32 seniors.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, wow.
Yep, there you go.
Yep, that says something.
Yes. 51-21 last night, Shelby the winner. Bunker Hill over the Hickory Hawks, 45-6. They'll open conference play next week at Lincoln. Wallace Rose Hill beats Pender 56-14. North Lincoln, the game Mike and I were at last night. I don't know how much you can say about it, Mike. 56-21 last night, North Lincoln.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wasn't that close.
Yeah, the number 7, North Lincoln scored the first 7 times they touched the ball, and 7 different players scored touchdowns.
And how many tackles did number 7 have?
Oh yeah,
I
got to find out the number
Bassani.
of tackles that Ryan Bassani,
probably 17.
the tackling machine had. That guy, he's all over the field.
Yep. And he is a junior. I'm tell you right now, North Lincoln is loaded with juniors.
Yep,
they're going to be pretty good throughout this year. Look out next year, though.
Quarterback's a junior.
Quarterback's a
The
junior.
running back's a sophomore.
Yeah, he's just
the fullback's a sophomore,
quarterback's
I think
a
a wing or two might be seniors.
Yeah.
Well, aren't there 2 Bassanis?
Yep.
I wonder what grade the other one is. He's an offensive lineman.
8th.
Find out.
I don't know. Not exactly sure about that, but North Lincoln looked real good. I mean, they just piled up the yardage. It was, at times you felt bad for East Rutherford. We know they're rebuilding. They didn't even have football 2 years ago, so they're basically started from scratch again last year. And they'll be okay.
The only bright spot is they got a couple pretty good skilled players, and they're underclassmen. The quarterback's a sophomore, McClellan's a junior. So, it's going to take a while.
And I think the wingback was one of the wings was a sophomore as well.
Right too. So,
Pinkerton.
And they play in a 1A, 2A. Maybe they've got low numbers, but I think the good thing is they're getting better, and they have some youth.
Okay, Coach Cloninger sends me a message here, and I'm going to take the under, Coach Cloninger. If we're going to bet, I'm going to take the under. He's on his way to Tennessee today to watch them play.
Who are they playing?
In-state powerhouse, Austin P.
Austin P.
I think, aren't they from Tennessee?
Yeah.
All right. Scott says, getting ready to hear Rocky Top 50 times today after every touchdown at Tennessee. I'm going to take the under. I don't think they'll score 50 touchdowns. Now, 50 points, I'll go with.
Yeah.
But going to hear it 50 times a day. It'll feel like 50, though.
It will.
They'll get to wear out the tape today. I'm answering Butch and a question as well. But
I can't get into the whole Rocky Top playing.
Over and over and over?
Yeah.
Well,
there's another local school that likes to play it too.
Is there a does every school have one of those though? Does every college pretty much have a theme song that or no, maybe not. I mean, I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of the big schools play songs at different times.
The one that's music to my ears is Boomer Sooner. You hear that after every Sooner touchdown.
I like Florida. The Swamp plays I Won't Back Down.
Yeah, that's third quarter songs.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
The third quarter songs are the best.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of those
That's a good
there.
one.
A lot of
Tribute
good
to Tom
ones.
Petty. Absolutely.
Mike, how many times did you hear that in the Texas game last year?
Ooh, it was very rare. In fact, not at all, actually.
I just had to. I couldn't resist throwing that out there.
Yeah, a little.
You get them back this year.
Back and
what do you
forth
think?
with
Get them
David,
back this year.
I had a little back and forth with David Potter last night. It was on another network. But,
He's still complaining about a game that happened
30
years ago.
30 years
or
ago.
So when he said that there was Oklahoma and Texas, and somebody ran a kickback, and he said there was 5 clips that was missed.
5 clips.
I said,
and
my first comment was, Oklahoma must have
that
lost
was even
game.
further back. That was the famous Nebraska-Oklahoma game, Johnny Rogers.
Okay, so even before my time.
It's in 1971.
Still bitter.
Still bitter.
Yeah, still bitter about it. Austin P needs James the Fly Williams. That's the guy that Lenny tells me about to play basketball.
He played
right?
basketball for James the Fly.
And there was some kind of little rhyming thing they had with P, Go P or something like that. You know, Austin P.
I remember James the Fly.
I think he'll tell me what that was here in a minute. Maiden, early start last night. Got underway at 6 o'clock. They were rolling early. They rolled over St. Stephen's 50-19 in non-conference play to complete their non-conference season at 2-1. And don't let that Watauga loss fool you too much. Watauga's a solid 4A team.
Absolutely.
And proved it last night with a road win at AC Reynolds. So I wouldn't put too much stock into Maiden's loss because they lost to a quality team.
Even though they gave up 49?
Is that how much it was?
It was 40-something.
40-something. Yeah.
But yeah, that Watauga offense
but still,
is tough. Their
What do
quarterback
they
is
run
really good.
Everybody does. I just figured.
Linda said that rhyme was "The fly is open. Let's go pee."
I love it. Oh, good one.
That's great. That's great.
James the Fly.
So, they don't throw it a lot. Clever. We'll target it and pass it a lot. Now, they might spread out, but they run the ball. They're big.
Okay.
The quarterback can really run.
Okay, so he's part
and
of
not forget either, Maiden. I mean, they did lose about 24 to 25 seasons.
Yeah, Maiden, for it to be considered a rebuilding year, they're pretty good.
Who lost more seniors, Maiden or East Lincoln?
About the same. About the same. And the thing with Maidens is they all started.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was probably maybe 20 of the 22 starters or something like that. East Lincoln lost like 26 that all played.
Yeah.
But, I think both of them, I mean, it looks like both of them are still going to have a good year.
It does. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I think.
But I do think that East Lincoln team was one for the books.
Is East not still the favorite, though, to win that conference?
Until somebody proves otherwise, I have to say so.
If they beat Hickory, they're really going to be the favorite to win the conference. But you know, and we'll know more a week from today when we're sitting here talking about it. You know, we'll know a little bit more. But yeah, I think they're. Well,
the one thing I don't see.
I'm not going to put you on the spot because I don't want to know your pick for next week in that game because we pick against each other.
We do.
And if you could give it away. If you tell me who's going to win the conference, and you're going to give it away who you're going to pick next week to win. So I won't ask you to do that. Let's see. We need to hurry up and get on with it here. Mount Airy crushed Ashe County last night. They have given up points now.
They finally gave up points?
Gave up 7.
Okay.
Mount Airy has allowed 7 now this season, 49-7 over Ashe County. And that's it. That ends the scores. Let's take our final time out, come back and talk a little bit about maybe our NFL playoff and Super Bowl picks.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Al Lane Motorsports is now Power Max Motorsports. Yes, the name has changed, but the great products you've come to know and trust are still there. The new Power Max Motorsports will continue to carry the full line of Can-Ams and Toro mowers, and they will feature a full service and parts department. Drop by and meet the new folks today. They want to get to know you and your needs. The new Power Max Motorsports, Highway 27 East and the Highway 73 intersection in Lincoln. Drop by and see them today.
Trusted, tried and true. Those 3 words represent the highest standards for Kawasaki Mule Side X sides. Trusted means being built strong and built to last. Tried means being put to test by hardworking people doing the toughest jobs. True means staying authentic to the roots that run 30 years deep. Kawasaki Mule, the definition of trusted, tried and true. See the Kawasaki Mule at Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk in Lowell.
For where 2 or 3 have gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst. Matthew 18:20. You are invited to gather with us at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church, located at 520 Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Sunday school meets at 10, and worship follows at 11 every Sunday. Follow us on Facebook for special service announcements. Join us Sunday at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church.
Triad Corrugated Metal in Lincoln is this area's headquarters for premium metal roofing and supplies. And now just arrived, square tubing for metal carports and metal buildings. Give them a call at 980-429-2278 for pricing and sizes. And they have a wide variety of colors. Visit the website at triadcorrugatedmetal.com. And like them on Facebook too, Triad Corrugated Metal, 108 Industrial Park Road in Lincoln.
Buying a Bobcat is now easier than ever at West End Sales in Vail. Now get 0% APR financing. That means low monthly payments. Or you can get $1,200 instant rebates on selected models. Now is the time to buy. Like we said, it's easier than ever. Again, get 0% APR financing or get $1,200 instant rebate on selected Bobcat models at West End Sales at the Highway 1827 West intersection in Vail. Online at westindsales.com and like them on Facebook too.
So, on Sunday, the Panthers visit the Falcons, the Texans go to the Ravens, the Bengals and the Browns, the Jags and the Colts. Tampa Bay takes on Minnesota at Minnesota. Tennessee visits New Orleans, the 49ers and the Steelers. What would that be? 11 Super Bowls between the two? 49ers and Steelers. And how about the Steelers avoiding the losing season last year that everybody had already said Mike Tomlin would never get through that one without having a losing season. Now you still don't have a losing season. They went 9-8.
Which I think is one of the most remarkable records in NFL coaching.
Yep. I think one of the most remarkable jobs last year to have a winning record.
Pull that out.
Yeah. The Commanders at home to take on the Cardinals, the new look Commanders, Brett. I hear they're going to not move, but make additions to FedEx Field or whatever it's called. Have you heard that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've heard they're going to do so many $1 million in improvements. Of course, millions is not much. I mean, it's just maybe temporary.
Yeah.
And then they do move back into
Well, now, who's the quarterback?
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
That's right.
Sun Valley. Sun Valley Sam.
Well, now, is this the make or break year for Ron Rivera there? I mean,
last year was, the year before that was, next year is.
I figured this is probably a swan song.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Lenny says he heard somewhere earlier this week Bryce Young is scheduled to start. It has been 21 years since the number 1 overall pick at quarterback has won his opening game. The last was good trivia. The last number 1 pick to win to quarterback on opening day. Nope. The last number 1 pick to win on opening day of his rookie year. To quarterback and win. You want a good hint?
It's been 21 years
You want
ago?
a good hint? You want a good hint?
Wait, did you say how many years?
21 years.
I thought he said 21. We got to move on. I don't want to stick on this too long. So, yeah, I said, been 21 years since the number 1 overall pick won his game, his debut at quarterback. The hint I can give you is his brother's in the NFL now.
David Carr.
Bingo.
Oh.
Good hint, right?
Yep.
David Carr says Jason as well gave the Texans their first victory.
Did they beat Dallas?
Over the Cowboys
Yeah,
on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. The expansion team, their first game ever, beat the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Cardinals at Commanders, Packers at Bears. It won't be the same without Aaron Rodgers roaming the field. Raiders it probably will be the same. The Packers probably still beat the Bears because the Bears never beat the Packers.
So you're giving them some love. Right?
Raiders and Broncos, that's going to be interesting because I'm anxious to see the Sean Payton coach Broncos.
I am too.
I'm very anxious to see
After he
that.
said the other guy did the worst job in
Yeah,
coaching
I think
in
he took that back real
history
quick.
of the NFL.
Dolphins at Chargers takes me back many years ago for the Kellen Winslow game. Remember that one, Mike, the playoff game that went 13 overtimes or whatever it was?
That's a good matchup.
It is. Eagles at Patriots, Rams at Seahawks. Boy, the Rams.
Oh.
They went from best team to maybe the worst. And they have a history of doing that.
Yeah.
They have a history of doing that. Sunday night, Cowboys and Giants. Monday night, Bills and Jets. That is that's got my interest. Can't wait to see Aaron Rodgers playing in a New York Jets uniform. And that should really be a good game, too. The Bills and the Jets. I mean, you think about it.
Two good defenses. And, of course, the QB matchup, Allen and Rodgers.
We're going to go around the room real quick. Who's going to win the AFC East? Boy, I started with a tough one. Oh. I mean, you got the Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets. Who's going to win the AFC East?
I'm going with the guy from Harvard with the glasses, Miami.
I thought for a minute you were talking about
Fitzpatrick.
I said he's a commentator now.
No, I'm talking about the coach.
So Dolphins, Buffalo. What the heck then? I'll go Jets.
Okay.
We'll just mix it up. I think New England's the only team that really don't have it. That's hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they may finish last in that division.
That's such a tough division.
We'll go reverse order. We'll go to the AFC North. I can't help. I don't know. This is tough.
AFC North, you say?
I'm going Bengals.
Ravens.
Oh, boy. I'm going Ravens.
Ravens
Rejuvenated
as well.
Lamar Jackson.
Brett, you go first in the AFC South.
Jaguars.
Yeah, that seems to be a popular pick right now. I'm going with them.
They're on the ascendancy.
Yep,
yeah.
I'm going with them. Hey, they got the best coach maybe in football. You don't even know who it is, do you?
Yeah, he coached the Eagles.
Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson.
He is really good at what he does.
Yeah.
AFC West.
Well.
My turn to go first?
Yep.
Wow. I can't go against the Chiefs. Even with a loss already, I can't go against the Chiefs. Although I think the Broncos will be on the rise.
I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Wow.
Chiefs.
Chiefs says Brett.
I think it's time for the young QB.
Brett, it's your division. You get to go first. NFC East.
The Eagles.
Eagles
take it to the limit.
Take it to the limit.
Who you taking, Mike?
Well,
did you say
Jalen Hurts, ex-OU QB. I'm going with the Eagles to fly.
Somebody give me some medicine. I'm going with the Cowboys to win the division.
Boy.
Somebody give me a dose of medicine. How about the ever-changing NFC North?
Hey.
The Lions made a statement.
The Lions, I'm going Lions.
The rest of the division is down.
Oh,
let's face it. It's a good year for the Lions to be good. They won 8 out of their last 10 last year. They roll into Kansas City, and they beat the Chiefs in the opener. Yeah. I don't care if they didn't have Kelsey. You know what? I heard this the other day. Said there was a game last year in the playoff. Oh, it was when the 49ers didn't have a quarterback, basically, and McCaffrey played quarterback some. Said nobody said anything about them not having the quarterback in there. They just, all you heard was San Francisco lost.
Right.
Said, let's give Detroit the same, recognition here, because it don't matter who's on the, you beat who's on the field. No, they didn't have Chris Jones and they didn't have Kelsey, but they won the game.
No asterisk.
And they still won in Kansas City,
yeah,
which
that's
is one
even
of the
more.
toughest places to win.
Yeah.
I'm going Minnesota.
After all that, Brett goes Minnesota. Tried to build them up. It just didn't work. In the NFC South, who will be the
not a good division,
least horrible?
Oh, boy. Among those 4 teams, how do you pick one?
I think 2 teams in there are going to be pretty good. I think 2 teams are going to be good, and the Saints are one of them.
And the quarterback
that's all I'm basing on is Derek Carr being the best quarterback.
I think Atlanta's going to be pretty good too.
I'm going to go Saints. Come marching in.
Yeah, I will go with the Saints as well. I like what they've put together, and bringing Derek Carr in is just another piece. In the NFC West, I will go first with, I think it's a toss-up between Seattle and San Francisco. Seattle's probably not getting enough credit, but I'll go with San Francisco since they just gave Bosa the contract, and he's set to highest paid defender in football now.
I don't know about Geno Smith. He's been off and on his NFL career. Last year he was good. Now I'm going.
Last year he was the top-rated quarterback in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken.
49ers.
Hard to beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
I can tell you this. It won't be the Rams or the Cardinals. Who's your 2 wild cards?
There's three wild cards now.
3 wild cards now?
Give me 3 then.
Oh,
you got to give me 2 before you can give me 3.
Dallas, Seattle, Detroit.
Okay. That's in the NFC. Well, then I'm going to go Eagles.
I'm going to go.
I picked Detroit.
It's 10 o'clock. We got
to go.
Super Bowl picks. That's it. That's all we're going to do. Super Bowl picks. Throw it out there.
Eagles have landed.
Again, we're going to the Eagles to get back and this time win it.
Yeah, this time win it. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll go 49ers. This seems like their turn. You know, they've knocked on the door for quite a while.
questions at QB, though.
I'm going with Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore.
All right.
I didn't even have them win the division. Brett's got them winning the Super Bowl.
Over the Eagles.
Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you listening. Don't forget, we'll have high school football Friday night, Bunker Hill at Lincoln. Until then, have a good week.